Let's say you've got something you desperately want. A relationship, a job, or opportunity. Believe it with all your being, maybe even practiced all the manifestation techniques that you could find, visualized it. But when you got what you wanted, the desire ended, or was another further replaced? However, most people have realized that once you learn how to manifest, it's like working on a treadmill. You're always going to be pushing yourself for the next thing, the next goal. Why? Manifesting is an ego experiment and an ego distortion, the belief that we are not enough and therefore need something other than ourselves to complete us. When I first met one of my friends, he was obsessed with manifesting financial success. For daily, she'd write down her goals, practice affirmations, and meditate on abundance. Sure enough, finally, she created a large, successful business with more money than she'd ever dreamed possible. Her happiness did not grow with her bank account, though. The truth was, actually, that she became more anxious and less fulfilled, always chasing the next milestone in her business, thinking that if only she could just hit one last thing, it would finally feel right. Despite that, peace eluded her, because she believed there had to be more, because she lacked, "I need more to be enough." Until she began to stop attaching outcomes, she had never really found peace. She wasn't stopped, but her continuation of action was coming from a place of alignment, as she didn't have to manifest anything to prove she was worth it. As we understand manifestation, it only functions on the ego level. It's based on the idea that we are distinct from our desires and we must draw in or generate something from somewhere other than within us. All of this idea collapses in a state of pure alignment. Call it enlightenment, God consciousness, or oneness. You know that all that you seek is already here within you. So then, in this state, it does not matter what you do, the act of manifestation, in the sense that you are not separate to what you desire. This principle can be understood through a simple metaphor. What if you were standing in front of a mirror? You don't ever say to yourself, "I need to manifest this reflection when I look in the mirror." It's a natural expression of you, which is why it's simply just there. As with the highest vibrational state, what we call manifestation is actually a reflection of the vibrational state of ourselves. You don't have to fight for it or strive for it. It's like getting a flower. When things are right, the flower just blooms effortlessly. Blooming doesn't have to manifest. It's a natural consequence of being. Think about it this way. Would you need to manifest anything if you were truly God? This idea of manifestation means there's something you don't have that you have to create. In a state of divine consciousness, however, all that is one and everything is possible at the same time. There is no lack. We don't have to manifest, as we are already operating it all in perfect harmony. You are already whole, therefore manifestation is redundant. The Taoist uncarved block analogy is a powerful one. Before it is carved, a block of wood is full of infinite potential. Unfortunately, once you start caring, you create something specific, sculpture or tool, and by doing so, you limit its eventual value. Similarly, if you try to bring a specific thing into your life, you're restricting the beauty that you can create that's infinite. However, if we are in this state of openness, this state of being of alignment, then we're the uncarved block itself. We're the blank slate, unrestrained by the mind. The main thing here is that manifestation tends to stem from beliefs. Beliefs are whole mind constructs, stories that you tell yourself about reality. Beliefs can indeed shape our experience, but they aren't the absolute truths. They're what let us see the world as we do. Whatever you think you need to struggle to be successful is exactly what you will receive. If you think that you are unworthy of love, you will live your life in a way that supports that belief. However, once you reach the highest vibrational frequency, that beliefs are gone, because in that state, you see reality as is, without the mind's filters. You discover that you don't have to believe in anything, because truth is not something that you have to believe in. It is. At the quantum level, reality becomes a dance of probabilities and possibilities. A world seen through the expectations, beliefs, and desires of our own perceptions looks solid, predictable, measurable. This is what we have been taught to accept since childhood. But underneath of that, there's something far more mysterious. The double-slit experiment, for example, reveals this truth. Particles, like electrons, act one way under observation and another away. It's like the universe is adaptable in the way that it acts, depending on if we're paying attention. What this experiment tells us is that observation does not have to obey the rules. In other words, our consciousness influences reality itself, and we are having multiple simultaneous realities. And it's our perception about which reality will we perceive to be. Now let's think about this from everyday life. We all live with a certainty baked into our everyday existence. We're convinced that what we see is all there is, that the world operates on fixed rules. Hard work brings success, and if you want something, you have to work hard to get it operated. The reality may be that things don't work that way. The quantum world is showing us that reality doesn't operate and feel like a massive computer, that our reality is not this rigid thing that's set in stone, that it's fluid, that we can manipulate ourselves, and it's moldable, and it's responsive to our consciousness. It becomes more profound and also more complex, because this fluidity is where the idea of manifestation becomes alive. Often we take on manifestation from the perspective of the ego, or a negative thought. You must think positive. Affirm and visualize what you want. Easy peasy, right? However, what happens when we aren't looking? When we stop trying to control everything, what happens? Just as the unobserved particles in the quantum experiment start to act in weird, even miraculous ways, reality seems to start behaving in ways that are highly unreal. When we let go, we give the universe permission to pass. For years, my close friend was trying to manifest his dream job. He did it all by the book, vision board, affirmations, meditations. However, he was stuck in the same dead-end position. Still though, he was frustrated and eventually gave up. Not giving up, but wearing out. So he decided that it'd be okay to just take some time off and just live without trying to make it happen. That's when something extraordinary happened during the time of not looking. Quite suddenly, he was offered a job that quite literally far surpassed his wildest dreams. After that, he was certain that whatever he was controlling in his life wasn't going to go as planned. But when he learned to stop trying to control his future, the universe had a door open for him that he never thought it would. This brings us to a fundamental insight. The emptiness within that is necessary in order to fill ourselves. Much of us, at least the ones I know, are filled to the brim with beliefs, wants, and mental garbage. So all we have room for is the same thing over again. It's like trying to pour fresh water in a cup that is already full. You can't fill the cup with new water until you've tipped the cup over and let the old water spill out. Just as, before we can manifest something new, we must shed the old beliefs, old emotions, and old attachments. So, try to imagine your mind like a closet. It's built up over the years full of old clothes that don't fit or don't suit you anymore. Continuing this way, you'll start filling your closet with new clothes, but then old ones, which means that eventually your closet will fill up with clothes that you can't find. Our minds and hearts are the same way. Before new beliefs or desires can be installed, they have to deprogram the old. When it is all cleared out, so to speak, the mental and emotional clutter out of our way, we get to manifest from that place of true openness and clarity. At one point, I truly believed that success meant struggle. If I wasn't working hard, I wasn't worthy of getting what I wanted. It was a total belief then, and I burned myself out trying to make things happen for little reward. My mentor once asked me, what if success doesn't always mean struggle? What if it can be easy? First, I thought it was ridiculous. It seemed ridiculous. The more I thought about it though, the more I realized how much of my belief system I attributed to unnecessary effort. So I let go of this belief and tried ease. Fast forward a few months and business is on cruise mode, opportunities are popping up on my plate, people and projects are happening organically. Instead of attaching to my old belief, I created space for a new reality to manifest. Our emotions are also the product of the concept of empty before being filled. We often think that if we can suppress or control our emotions, especially the negative ones, then they won't happen. What if emotions are not qualitatively different on our side when we're not observing or judging them, like the quantum particles in a double-slit experiment behave? What if, instead of trying to manage our emotions, we were okay with them being there? What we then accomplish is the freeing up of an astronomical amount of energy. What if a river just flowed through a valley naturally? So how would you try and shut or dam the flow of the river? You might get a ways, even for a really long ways, but eventually the water will blow through, sometimes with terrific force. Emotions are that river. When we can't control them, we create blockages, and those blockages can become stress, anxiety, and even physical illness. When we let our emotions move by without trying to fix, change, or stop them, the way the river flows by, it's non-judgmental, non-labeled, and we move through them just like the river. Real freedom is freedom to allow, not to control. This is where manifestation goes from being all about getting what we want to being something richer. People think of manifestation in a materialistic way as money, success, relationships. These things are secondary. When we align with our higher selves, with our truth, our real manifestation starts. When we manifest out of this higher state, we're not coming from something of lack or desire, but from something of wholeness. And we're deciding to go out into realities as a result. Because the quantum field, all of these possibilities are happening at the same time. We're not manifesting in the traditional sense, we're just choosing which version of reality to actively experience. So the next time you think about manifesting something, ask yourself, are you creating from a place of lack, or from the higher truth that whatever there is pre-exists? The choice is yours. All realities are available. You just have to empty yourself and let go and then choose.